Hey, today I'm going to tell you about 13 creative ways to have children choose the songs. So, one thing that I've learned is that usually when you have a list of like 5 or 10 or 12 songs that you need to have the kids learn for the program, then you want different creative ways to be able to review all of those songs. And then throw in some wiggly songs or fun songs or their favorite songs, things like that. And so I'm going to share with you several different ways that I've been able to have the kids come up and choose a song and just creatively do that to make it fun and entertaining for the kids and involve them. So the first one is their ultimate favorite, and that's the punching board. It really doesn't have to involve punching, but most of the kids do that. So what I do is I get foam board and I will cut out circles. They have to be about as big as the kids' wrist and knuckles. So not just the wrist, but for them to be able to punch all the way through. So you cut out that hole. And what you do is you put either tin foil, or I like to use tissue paper because it's really colorful and you can get different colors and designs. So I'll get tissue paper and just put it in front. So the kid punches through the tissue paper on this foam board, and then behind it there's a bag. So you can use any kind of bag. I usually use bigger bags like Walmart grocery sacks, just in case they punch too hard. I don't want them to like punch the bag out. And so I found Walmart grocery sacks to work. You have to tape them up really well behind, and just so that they can punch and then try and feel in the bag for the name of the song or the number. And I definitely recommend putting a number because then you can use it again and again and again. And you can also have a list with number with songs, and then you can change the songs if you want to. For example, if you know you really want the kids to practice He Sent His Son, but no one ends up picking it, right? And you're like, we only have 5 minutes left. I really want them to sing He Sent His Son. Then you can just pretend that the number they picked is He Sent His Son, and no one will know because you're the only one looking at the list with the numbers. So just a little, it's fine. So I do that, guilty. And what's great is they never know. And so they pick out the number, like, oh, it's number 2. Like, oh, look, it's He Sent His Son. Great. Thanks for picking it. The kids love this. They love punching it. And what's funny is that they'll have their little personality. Sometimes they take their finger in the tissue paper and they're just like, I don't want to punch it. They just like stick through and then like go like this or rip it. It's just kind of fun for them to each have their unique individual way of opening it up. But every kid that I know of likes to do this. So it's a fun way to pick a song. One thing that is kind of annoying is it's really big. So that's kind of annoying. Can't just keep it in your sack. And you have to put new paper on every time with new numbers. So just be ready for that. Also, one thing you could do too is, and I've done this, so just know it can work. If you're like, last minute, we're headed for church, and you're like, oh no, I don't have a way for the kids to pick songs. I've got my list of songs I know that I want them to review, but I don't have a really creative way to do that or to help them pick the songs. Then you can say, hey, just grab your board. Even if everything's been punched out, grab a bunch of tissue paper, and then when you get to church, when you start primary, you're like, hey, I've got little numbers in here already. I need you guys to really quickly take the tissue paper and put it up and tape it. And you know what kids can, take it seriously and have them do it and see, like, let's see if you can do it before the end of this song and make that an activity. Just know that, like, it's okay. Just run with it. But that's kind of fun because that, let's say there are 5 holes in the board and you pick 5 kids, give them each tissue paper. Okay, let's see if you guys can do it before the end of this song. And then they take the tape, they got their tape and they put it up and they get all ready. Okay, the next person you call, then you can start punching the holes in. So sometimes I do that. The next one is a tree. And this is what I did. I just got a branch, actually, and a roll of duct tape. The roll of duct tape was a cool color. It could be gray or any color. And I stuck it in a bucket of rocks. And it stuck up. It was annoying when it fell, but usually it was pretty heavy, so it didn't fall. And I stuck it in the bucket of rocks, and I used duct tape to add some more little branches, and it turned into like this duct tape tree, right? It was completely covered in duct tape. So it was even if it got rained on, it was fine. And what was great is that I just kept that at the church. So if you have a way to store things like in a closet and have it locked up, and if no one bugs it and takes it or whatever, if they just leave it alone, then that's a really great idea to just have there, because then on Easter, I would just take little Easter eggs and make little ornaments. And that's all I brought, because I knew that the tree was there and I could put them on the tree. And for Christmas, I brought ornaments, and for Thanksgiving, they were little turkeys, and then I would have zoo animals, and I mean, you could have any type of thing hanging on the tree that hangs, and it was just kind of fun. And it was something that the kids always liked, especially the younger kids. They always liked, like, ooh, which one should I pick? And they're hanging on this tree. It's kind of magical. So that's kind of a fun one just to, like, always have in the closet. It is annoying to have to take back and forth. But if you're only taking the things that hang, that's not that big of a deal. It's not as hard. All right, number 3. Hide numbers under the chairs. The only hard thing about this is you have to go in order. You'll be like, okay, who has number 1, right? You're like in Relief Society doing quotes or something. But everyone looks under their chair, and then after the ones who don't get anything complain that they never get picked, then you can say, okay, who has number 1? Bring it up. The only thing that's hard about this one is that sometimes they'll be really sad if you don't get to them. Like if you have 8 songs and you only went to 7. So if I do this, I'll do like 5 songs to make sure to get to everyone. And then if we have time left over, I'll do songs I want or something. But then they'll come and be like, oh, number 1, you brought it in, right? And sometimes there'll be a message with it, or something that they read, or whatever, or a scripture. And they come up and they're like, oh, look, this was under my chair. And that's super fun and like magical to have something under your chair. As a kid, I remember it was really fun. It was exciting. The 4th one is probably one of my favorites, because it kind of has to do with missionary work, and you kind of pretend that you're little missionaries knocking on people's doors. And what I do is I'll have, let's see, if I have 8 songs, then I'll have 8 papers, and they're laminated, of course, because I'm obsessed with my laminator. And the paper is decorated as a door. So I have 8 different doors. They're all creatively doors. And I have doors that look like they're from the 70s, and doors that look like they're from Monsters, Inc., and everything in between. And so I have all these doors on my board, and the kids will come up and they have to knock on a door. So they go and they knock on a door, and then they flip it over, and there's a family or a person or a person with their dog. And those are the people that are on the other side of the doors. You're a missionary. You knocked on their door, and this is who showed up. And they have a question for you. For example, one family might be like, what happens to our family after we die? That's their question. And then the person who you called can think of the list of songs. You could have the list of songs too, written, and that helps, that they can refer to. And what's fun for the kid is that when they look at the family and they read the question, that they have to think of a song that will answer that question. And one thing to make it easier is, let's say you have a list of 7 songs, put the list of 7 songs visible for the child so they can choose from those songs. Because honestly, if you've got a creative kid, they can think of lots of songs that may answer that, right? But when they look through the song, they go, oh, families can be together forever. That can answer their question. And then you can have them thinking about, hey, what doctrine in this song could really help this family? And kind of just getting them thinking about that. The 5th one I like to use is treats. and I'll show you how I use them because I don't want to overdo it, but I will like always have a little jar, like a miniature jar full of Skittles. And if I want the kids to do something and maybe try and motivate them to do it, I'll say, okay, you guys, if we're good, then we'll do the Skittles game at the last 5 minutes. And they get good because they really care about the Skittles game. They know what the Skittles game is. And what the Skittles game is, you can use this with really any kind of treat that has different flavors, different colors, is we'll have one kid come up and they'll close their eyes. And I will take a Skittle and show everyone the color except for the kid I chose. Let's say it's green. And then they open their mouth and I plop it in. I washed my hands before. This is all before COVID, by the way. And then kid that was chosen needs to guess if it was green or not. Most of the time, they get it wrong. Most of the time they get it wrong and we just choose the next song in line. But if they get it right, then they can choose whatever song they want. But that's a tool that I really appreciate that the kids like because I know they like it and they're so motivated for like 3 of them to get 1 Skittle. I'm like, well, that's worth it to me. So, okay, so the next one I do is trains. I don't know what it is about junior primary, but they usually love trains. And so I'll have a little train that needs to go across to the like to a certain destination, whether it's a board you can carry or you can put it on the board behind you and use magnets or tape or whatever, and the train needs to move. Once the train moves and gets to the spot it needs to go, it'll dump out its cart, like it's things that it's carrying, and I'll put little things in there for the kids. So usually just little stickers. I'll have it's kind of amazing. You get the little tiny baby stickers and you get like 50 of them. They really fit in a little tiny thing. And so they'll fit in there and I'll take them out. I'm like, oh, look, you have stickers. So they've earned it and then we pass them out. Okay, and then the next one is using something physical. I like a little instrument. And so I've done shakers, I've done like wands or scarves, paper plates, or like sticks. And what's fun about this is they get to make noise. So before you hand them out, you have them practice. You say something to let them know that they have to put it under their chairs. They have to be quiet. And then you hand them out and then you practice, okay, and when I say this, make sure it's quiet and no one do it. And then because that's really important to get them to listen, to stop making the noise, because it can be a little chaotic if a bunch of little kids have shakers and they're just always shaking them. So if you choose to do this, especially when you make noise, scarves don't make noise. So scarves are a little different. But if you have something that makes noise, make sure that you really teach them that boundary, that rule of, okay, when I say quiet now or whatever you say, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me, whatever you want to do, then practice that before you even use them. Practice it. And teach the kids so that they can practice, oh, it's time to put it down and to keep the shaker quiet. Things like that. But that is a really fun way to have them just use their hands and to have them choose songs as well, because as you hand them out too, you can be like, one can have a song on it. We'll do that. And be like, okay, now we're going to use our scarves. Who has the scarf that has the little number on it? Oh, you do. Bring it up. What number is it? That type of thing. And then, especially if it's like a shaker, you can put it on the bottom or something. I don't know. And it's good. That one's fun for senior and for junior. The next one is you have some kind of either gift or intricate packaging that they have to unwrap or open, or puzzle thing that they have to figure out to get to the number of the song that you're doing. For example, I got this idea from someone else. We were visiting, we travel a lot, and we were visiting a ward, and I could not believe this is so awesome. She had taken a real egg and blown it out and put a little number inside. And I was like, that's amazing. Because those eggs, she just had them really carefully in a little basket, and then she would give an egg to one of the kids, and they got to crack an egg at primary. Like, how fun is that? And then there was a little note inside with the song or the number. But you can do any kind of like open or unwrap the box or unwrap the gift. Have it be something that they have to figure out, or that's just kind of fun to try and open. So anything really that they open, even if it's an envelope. I've even done like a mailbox, and like you choose a letter in the mail and they're all like different colors, and like, okay, what mail is that? You're like, oh, it's this song. So people like opening things, especially kids. The next one is to create a puzzle, like put a puzzle together. Let's say on the board you have all the puzzle pieces. They're all different order, different places. There's maybe like 10, and then they have to put them over here and make the puzzle. So it's like, oh, let's choose a corner. I'm guessing it's this corner, right? And then this person puts it right here. And then you can make rules of like, oh, you can move 2 other pieces if you think you know that they're in wrong spots. Because, the first 2 and 3, you don't know what spots they're in. Like, you don't know. And then you create a puzzle. And that really motivates them to, oh, I want to be the one to figure it out because, oh, I know where the next one goes, that type of thing. The next one is, okay, this one's really, really fun if you have a talented pianist. And if you don't, it's still going to be fun. But it's super fun if they're really good at sight reading, because this is what you do. You draw 5 lines and then treble clef. And so you're writing, like you're drawing out the music staff on the board. And then you have a bunch of little like colorful laminated notes. And you have 16th notes, and you have quarter notes and half notes and whole notes. And then the kids get to decide where to put them. And sometimes they get really silly and they put them down there, but you have to just put it like where C is or something, middle C. But you can put them wherever. And so each kid will be like you make a melody, you make a song, and then at the end, the pianist will sight read the song. Now, if the pianist doesn't want to do that, or they're like, I don't want to do that, or that's hard, or I can't make it sound good, or they're uncomfortable doing that for whatever reason, you can always just have them play the first note and try and sight read it with the kids. That's kind of fun too. It's a silly kind of fun thing to do at the end, but they're excited because they wrote the song. They created it. And so you've got some kids that have no idea what they're doing. And then you have some kids that are like taking piano for years. They're like, well, I want to do this. And they kind of know what they're doing a little bit. You can turn them into little composers. The years that I did this a lot, and I would do it quite often, we had the pianist who actually wrote music. She was amazing. And so she would kind of make it her own, and she would do it again and again, and she would like just do this random song. And I was like, oh. And the kids loved it. It was super fun because they felt like they made it. And they got to hear the song that they made. So musical notes, you can just draw a staff and put them in places. Okay, and then the next one is some kind of competitive game, especially with senior primary. If you've got kids who are motivated by being competitive, but that don't get overboard. A lot of times you do girls against boys, and I'll do a big game of the game of life, but I'll do a different version of, it's like your life and you got baptized and you went to the temple, and then like you go to heaven or something. Then you go to celestial kingdoms. So that's what I did. I just made my own little life game. And then you had the boys and the girls. And what they would do, you can do this different ways. Pick a song and they sing the song. And you can say, well, okay, the boys got 2 points. The girls got 3 points on that one. You could do that. I want to make sure that, you guys know the words. So show me you know. And you might be able to earn 5 points. And then they get to go 5. And it's very motivating for them if they're competitive and it's boys against girls. I've done chutes and ladders. There's chutes and ladders one that's like an LDS one where if they make a bad choice and they go down the slide, and then if they make a right choice, then they go up. And what's fun is that there's a blessing there waiting for them. And It's really sweet. So I'll use that as well. But any kind of game that, it's just an innocent, fun game, but you can get them to sing the song and really motivate them. Like, hey, you guys know this song, and get them to really care about trying their best. So that's just one thing. Okay, the next one is, this one's super easy, and you can use it like any time. I use this when I'm headed out the door and I realize that I haven't prepared anything, and I just grab this. And what it is, it's a poster board with dots, like big circles all over it, different colors, and each dot is a different song. Some of the songs, there's probably 50 songs on there, right? So this is kind of a good way to sing different songs as well. But all the songs that we need to know for the program are on there too. And what we do is we just have a beanbag. Just bring a beanbag and that poster board. And I just covered it with packing tape, the top of it. And I'll put it on the ground, and then I'll take that beanbag and give it to the kid and be like, okay, now you just throw it on the board, and then whatever it lands on, we sing that song. And if it lands on like 3 different ones, because the beanbag is this big and it's like on 3 different ones, then the child can just pick which one they want. It's a really easy, fast, just nice thing to have. And then you're reviewing songs, and you're singing other songs that you might not sing as much too. So I really like that one. I like having that one just to grab and go. And the kids like doing that. They like being able to throw beanbags. It's a fun thing. All right, the last one I'll do is songbook. I wanted to put this one in here because you can have, like, you can just say, well, who wants to choose a song? And have them raise their hands, or pick however you pick kids. But a lot of times they'll just pick like their same songs that they always pick. But if they have a little songbook in their hand, then you just say, oh, page 14. And then you can have this review of songs that you don't usually sing very often. So for example, when it's near Pioneer Day, I'll have a little songbook that's just full of all the Pioneer songs and hand it out. And, it's just a little spiral bound one that I printed off. And it's like kind of little, and the kids will share and stuff. I have like 20 of them. And then they're like, oh, I want a page 5. I want to do page 7. And they have the song in front of them. This works really well for senior primary because they can read. Then here we are reviewing and singing songs that usually aren't sung as much. And what's fun is that you can do that, like for Easter, do all the Easter songs. For Christmas, do all the Christmas songs. And just so you know, it is totally legal to copy up to 1/3 of the songbook and put it together, just as long as you don't sell it. And so that's good to know. You can compile just like your favorite songs or all the songs that you want to review or whatever, and just put in the songbook, and then the kids can have those little songbooks and can use them. So that's my last one. So that is 13 creative ways to have children choose the songs. Hopefully that was helpful. Thanks so much. Hi guys, thanks for watching that video. I'm so excited to share with you a brand new YouTube channel that my husband and I and our kids make. It's called 7 Ahead, and it's right here. You can check it out. What happened with our family was my husband quit his job, we sold our house, we moved into an RV traveling to all the national parks, and we're excited to share that journey with you on our YouTube channel. You can check it out here and subscribe to it and share it with your friends. We appreciate your help so much.